I'm here at the car place to get the car inspected and oil changed, tires rotated, and all that. Oh boy, here we go. Let's have some fun. Talk to you later. Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns podcast. The car didn't take too long, took about an hour and a half. And then I had to run over to Walmart to get some more sinus medication. And while I was there, I kind of looked around, talked to a woman about her kitty cat. She told me that she's a woman that's a greeter, and I've always talked to her when I'm in the store. And she was telling me that she's decided that today, when she comes back, she wants to come back as a tomcat. And I know she's a cat lady, because her and I have talked about it quite often. And she was telling me about how spoiled her Tom is. So that was kind of fun to talk with her for a few minutes. Um, I have heard a little bit more news about, I don't know if you guys are following the story in England about Alfie, the little boy, that the family wanted to continue his ventilation and continue working with him, take him home. And of course, the English government, the hospital refused to let him take him home. He had to go to court. The English government has decided that to remove ventilation. Last I heard, he's still alive and doing well. Not as well as if he'd had ventilation, which is basically oxygen support. I sit here and I think about those things, and I think, well, part of the reason it bothers me is because, Stephen Hawking's, look at everything everyone did to continue his life, even though he had ALS. And he outlived many people who had ALS. It's a hard subject to talk about because a lot of people believe in socialized medicine because they believe that's what all civilized people and countries do. But I have a little bit of a different opinion. I think that civilized people don't allow people to die when there is something that would help keep them alive. And the other thing is, this is the bad part about socialized medicine. That means medicine is in charge of whoever gets to live or die. The English government had long passed a rule law that children are not always in the best interest for the family to continue medical support for that child is not in the best interest of not the family or the human being, but it's not in the best interest of the country and socialized medicine. And I have a problem with that. So I'm a little saddened today to hear that, what the English government has done, and I think we as Americans need to take that into consideration. What's next with socialized medicine? Does that mean that if I'm there and I have stage 4 breast cancer, they're not going to treat me? They're just going to let me die? Those are some things we need to think about when we start talking about socializing medicine and those kind of things and allowing government to be in charge of it. So those are my thoughts today. May not make a big bean, hill of beans in yours. You may have different opinions. Your mileage may vary. Carry on. Which kind of brings me to another subject. What is it with people on Facebook unfriending you if you have a different opinion than theirs? Or if you're a different political persuasion? I don't get that. If they're your friends, and you're willing to accept them at face value, and you're willing to get to know them, why aren't you willing to accept that they may have a differing point of view than you? I've had friends unfriend me because of my political leanings. I've had friends unfriend me because I think blue is a better color than green. I mean, what's with people these days? In some ways, social media has brought a lot of people together who would not be able to be together, as in you and I. I'm able to show you these things that I'm doing. We we can talk amongst ourselves or whatever you want to call it. But then the bad thing is it's also brought out a side of humanity that can be pretty ugly. Um, I see a lot of online bullying. I am part of a group where the majority of the people are extremely liberal. And if I post anything, differing in opinion, saying, well, I just don't think that's right, the, you know, then they start piling on. And, many times I don't post, but every once in a while I feel like I need to post in that group because they need to know there are people who have different opinions. And that's basically why I do that. I like these people. I know some of them in real life, other than just online. But I accept that they have a different opinion than I do. So, little rant for today. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you a little snippet of a bunny that we have out in our complex. This bunny, we saw him when he was about this big, and he's grown up to be a full-size bunny now, and which we're a little surprised, and you'll see why when the video shows. So that's it for today. I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye. This is one of our little bunnies that's always out front of our house. You can see he's got a deformed leg. We've watched him grow up from a baby clear up to now this adult rabbit. So it's kind of interesting to see that he survived so well.